Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is Lesson 99, Positional Targets, Part 16. I'm going team by team. This is the last group of the NFL teams here. We're looking at their targets based on, I think, what the public is perceiving, not necessarily what I perceive. But we always have to have a reference to look at and bounce our research off of, right? It's called reference class forecasting, and it's just something that is needed. And I suggest you go see that lesson. It's one of my early, in the first 10 lessons. It's called reference class forecasting. This is all trying to help you win your fantasy football drafts. Woo woo. Let's do this. Let's continue. We will have the team, the position, the player, and the estimated targets based on the public and ADPs. And let's start with the Jets. The Jets have had a rough uh, multiple years. Let's be honest here. I was doing some red zone work, and it's probably coming up here eventually. And the Jets were almost, I think, at the bottom or near the bottom as far as red zone activity. Sad. So for this year, let's see. They've got Michael Carter, Coleman, P. Ryan Johnson, and Carter is 7 targets over Coleman. So unless Carter is getting lots of rushing and red zone work, looks to me like we have this running back by committee situation, and Coleman's cheaper. So if I had to buy uh, one of these running backs, it would be Coleman because it's cheaper than Carter. So that's just the way that is. Herndon is the tight end, 60 targets. Jets don't use tight ends. Looking at the defense against the position predictions for 2021, and actually the Jets tight ends figure to have a nice schedule, but I'm not sure that will rescue Herndon's shot. I think he's at best a tight end 2 streamer type. Probably not drafted him. The wide receivers seem to be Corey Davis, and then everybody else is the next wide receiver 2 type. Davis is figured at 100, which is wide receiver 1 in the Jets, but really across the league, that's pretty low, like 3, 4. He's not somebody you're drafting in your top 3. He's a deep, deep play there. Crowder has, over the years, been a PPR target magnet and figures to be that as well. He's cheaper than Davis. He could be a play. Yeah, all the wise guys are saying Elijah Moore is the play. Uh, don't know. And Mims, they're saying, won't even make the teams. I don't know. I mean, what are we fighting over here? 60 to 70 targets. We're fighting over wide receiver 4, 5, 6 types. So not sure there's a lot of effort to be spared in digging. I've picked up Crowder in best balls and Davis just as my wide receiver 5, 6 types. More to nothing to see here really. Uh, I think I think Davis should be the guy, but I think that's about it there. Philadelphia, here we go. Running backs here. Why not have 5 running backs? I think Carry On just got released. So his 14 go somewhere, but if you spread that out, it really doesn't change. Sanders figures to be the one. I think the rookie Gainwell could, and Scott, I think they'll be the two A and B type. I think Howard would be a deep handcuff. Probably not interested in him. Probably interested, certainly in Dynasty, Gainwell and Scott. Those guys I've had in, those are free squares almost in best ball, and would taking them late, free square types. Goddard and Ertz, they think Goddard will produce twice Ertz. I see him closer than the public does. So I would probably, if I've got to take a tight end too, it would probably be Ertz. He's cheaper than Goddard. Devonta Smith seems to be the rookie that has everything going for him and should be the wide receiver one on the team and could be a wide receiver two across the league. He could be a good surprise and a good rookie there. Rager as well figures to be the two, and then Fulgham and Ward fight as the third spot. I'm picking up Rager in best ball, as a 4-5 type. Smith would be a great wide receiver 3 type. So I would invest a little bit in this team here. And it looks like target-wise, here's the 3 plays here. But I think Ertz and I think Goddard are closer together than people think. So I might include him in the 4th. And he's pretty cheap. Rager's pretty cheap. So that might be more. If you're trying to save some on draft capital, that's what I would look for there. Pittsburgh. Harris the rookie should be the number 1. Snell, McFarland, Balaj. Who's the number 2? Who knows? They predict Snell. I don't know. McFarland or Balaj could be it. Not sure there's a lot of profit to be had in here. Harris, I'll take, but, not reaching, at 38 targets. Ebron's a wide receiver 2 type, solid, and a good streaming option. Worth our time, certainly in tight end premium leagues. Figures to be a through race scrum. Claypool, Schuster, Johnson. I'm not sure the order of the public sees it. Johnson, Schuster, Claypool. I kind of like Claypool over Schuster, but, and Washington is the odd man out. He wanted to trade, and of course he's the cheapest, and in best ball I've actually put him on a few teams just because he's so cheap. He is a free square. And if something were to happen injury-wise to one of these, Washington could be the logical pick, to pick that up and be a wide receiver 4-5 type for your team going forward. So keep him in the back of your speed dial there for that. I think I'll take any of 2 would be fine. Probably Harris at the right price, and 1 or 2 of these would be just fine with me. Tight end premium, I would consider Ebron. And here's the top 3 in Ebron's 4. It makes sense to me, and would collect 1 or 2 of these on my team, no problem. Seattle, Carson figures to get 44 targets, Penny at 29, and DJ Dallas at 12. I actually like Dallas over Penny. Penny has had all the chances in the world. I'm taking Dallas. If I'm going to grab anybody, he's a free square. Maybe a handcuff to Carson. Everett, another one just like Ebron, tight end premium, tight end 2, spot play. Metcalf and Lockett, Metcalf is pretty steady. Lockett will get his, but he's a little bit more volatile in his weekly production. So be aware. Best ball target. Oh yeah, all day long. Either one of these. Uh, if there's an injury, Dwayne Eskridge could be the play, but not drafted him unless there's some type of injury. So I'll take Carson, and I'll take either one of these. Uh, Lockett may be cheaper, so he could be the play of all these. And I do like DJ Dallas more than Penny. Okay, I think they're closer than the public thinks. San Francisco. Oh my goodness, let's have 6. That just messes up everything. All the wise guys like Sermon over Moster. Wilson will be coming into the season later, and he could be a great injury pickup later if one of these guys got hurt. Gallman is not going anywhere. They sure brought him in. It's confusing at best, and they could spread it around and can cost you value with any of your plays. Be cautious here in who you pick, given the tendency to have a committee situation. Hopefully, Kittle could be your wide receiver. Your tight end 2 type. Could be a 3, could be a 4 as far as, through the league, right? So it's Waller, Kelsey, and then there's about 5 with Kittle. He may be overvalued somewhat, so be cautious. Ulrich and Samuel, the public says they're 1A, 1B. I'll take Samuel, he's cheaper. But if Ayuk slides, I'll take him. I'd take either one. Take a look how this looks right here, and then Kittle looks like your top 3 pass catchers here, and this is just a mix, a scrum between these running backs. Just really hurts everybody's value here. Not so good. Tampa Bay, they think Jones, Fournette, and Bernard and Vaughn. Look at this. It's almost like everybody's getting passes out of the backfield. It certainly hurts Jones's value in PPR. Bernard could overtake Fournette. I don't know. They sure don't have big confidence in their running backs here, bringing in Bernard like that. So I'm taking Jones, but probably maybe Bernard in best ball. Gronk tends to be a red zone type of play. Howard could be a surprise, but only in tight end 2 types and tight end premium leagues. I probably wouldn't take them as my tight end 1 type. Godwin Evans figure to be 1A, 1B, with Brown a solid 2 type. I'll take Evans. He's cheaper than Godwin. Brown could surprise and could be a nice wide receiver 4 type, maybe wide receiver 3. I think that's pushing it. I like Evans as my second wide receiver type of play. Seems pretty stable here. Here's I think these top 3, and then these guys, and then there's you pick them on who the target leader ends up being here. That sure muddies the water again. Kind of like Seattle, muddies the water. Not so good in PPR. Tennessee, Henry should be everything. Evans had some injuries. Does that mean Hill is the better, safer play for a handcuff? I'll still take Evans. I think he's got talent and hope he can work through those injuries. Fisker at 110 could surprise us and could be a tight end one this year. Tennessee loves their tight ends and they like to go to him. He could surprise, and he's pretty late. He's almost a free square at 110 targets. So he's definitely somebody you want to potentially invest in here. A.J. Brown, Julio, Josh Reynolds, looks like it's a 1A, 1B. They kind of cut each other's value. Not really want to take Jones given his injury history, and sometimes he has trouble getting touchdowns. So I guess I would take Brown, but I think Jones hurts his value. Here's the top three here, so I think that's who you're looking for. Certainly Henry's the rushing person and will collect his rushing scores, no doubt. Washington, I really think these are the two plays. I think McKissick is being undervalued, and I think he could get 60 targets. Think about it, a running back getting 60 targets. Look at San Francisco. Go back and look at Tampa Bay. What running back twos are getting 60 targets? Nobody. Gibson should get 88. Goodness, they're going to be passing a lot to it, at least. Now, they do have a new quarterback, and that could really mess the value up. But I'm drafted both Gibson and McKissick like they're going to get a lot of play in PPR. Logan Thomas also figures to be in the tight end one conversation. I would definitely take him as a tight end, my tight end on my team. I think you could work him. I would probably have him and somebody else as a streamer, I guess. McLaurin and Samuel should be the 1 and the 2. Samuel's cheaper, so I would probably take him over McLaurin just because he's cheaper with draft capital. So I think we got a good shot here. Nice picks. Here's your 3. And these guys figures to be a lot of passing. So I'm really anxious to see how Washington does. But I really expect a lot of fireworks passing, and Fitzpatrick is somebody who really slings it out, so we could see a lot of PPR goodness in Washington. There have been years when I don't think I've had a Washington team member on my fantasy squads. Now I think I could take 3 or 4 and go for it. I think times have changed for Washington. They're going to be in the hunt against in the East. Okay, that's all the teams there. I got one more lesson for targets, lesson 100, and that's coming next. So come back, and we're having extra amount of fun. Woo woo.